So this time we're not going to cut the scene into different parts. We're just going to draw it as, well, first of all, for the frame. Okay, so this time, let's draw this all as one piece. So drawing in front of camera is a bit, well, it's this pressure to get it right. So it's best to draw it slowly, especially when you're starting out. Just draw slowly. Okay, so let's just continue this thing. So this is this. Okay, so what I'm seeing is, I just see this as just one shape. And if you watch my previous video, I recommend superimposing this shape with a colored block of shape so that you do not even see what you're drawing. Okay, so we're just listening to the visual voice in my head. Going there, curve here, move this bump here, and doing my best to tell myself that this is just a shape, nothing more. Yeah. And therefore, and that's where I... Okay, so now we do the hat. Sorry, just a shape. Just to remind myself, it's just a shape. So we go down here, slant down here, and then we see like, where does this thing curve in? I think it curves in where the nose curves in, so here. Move this bump here. And then if you notice, I start and stop all the time. It's almost like a car stopping at many traffic lights. And that's where I orientate myself. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Okay, so this part here, I don't know whether my square is the same, but okay, let's just say, yeah, I think this part was longer, so it's probably like this. Okay, so let's just start with here. I think it will get the shape more accurately that way. Okay, go here. Okay, this part would join with this bump here. And then, of course, you can also do this scene using knowledge of 3D forms and creating 3D structures, and you would be able to draw this perfectly. But if you watch my previous video, I was saying that I always feel like that takes a lot more work, and if you're a beginner, that takes a lot more, well, training. But in using this contour method here, you would be able to draw it right now. Because you already have a visual way of seeing it. You already have a visual voice, so if you just listen to that voice, you would be able to draw already. Okay, so this thing here, it's actually moving here. Okay, right now I'm just cutting it into big chunks. So we have the whole complete shape, right? And what I'm trying to avoid is to draw the very small shapes. I'm just cutting it based on maybe the color. So for example, this hat, it has just one beige color, so I'm gonna separate that part as one big, because it forms one big chunk. When it's one big chunk, I still can't, it's hard for my logic brain to figure out what's going on or what this object is. Okay, so let's find another big chunk here. And again, going very slowly. Moving here. My eye is always locked onto the scene I'm drawing. So this is something I observe when I look at experienced sketchers. When they draw, their eye is always when they draw, their pen is moving while their eye is actually firmly fixed on the object they're drawing. Wait, I'm just wondering here. Oh, okay, yep. Here, I'm talking at the same time. It's a bit distracting too. Oops, why am I doing small details? I shouldn't be doing small details. Oops. All right. Okay, let's just capture the big shapes, right? So there's always this temptation to capture small details straight away, but doing that is usually a recipe for disaster. So right now, just cut out the big shapes, right? Cut out the big chunks. That's what I'm telling myself. So after so long doing this, I still get the temptation to cut up into small shapes. But however, after doing this some time, your brain would be so accustomed to seeing shapes that even when you draw small shapes first, it seems like I'm able to still draw things accurately, but not so when I was first starting out. Oh, see that there. All right, so did I get all the big chunks there already? Okay, here we go, another big chunk here. Now I see that's the cheek here. Okay, it's not a very flattering cheek, I know. Okay, now oh man, it's like here and here, and the eyes and there, and well, it's not a very flattering angle of me, but this is just purely for educational purposes, so that is fine. Okay, and now we're gonna just cut the seam here, because that's a good big chunk there. Okay, now we just draw the small chunks, the small bits here. So even when drawing the small bits, I make sure that my eye is stuck to the picture as I draw it, and I draw it slowly. So there's this tendency for me especially to, when it comes to these small details, to just draw it on autopilot. And when I draw on autopilot, I tend to just listen to the logic side, the logic voice, and it would not be accurate. So here we go. Okay, so let me see, there's this triangle here. Yep, I'm trying to say it as like a shape, so I'm just saying it's a triangle or a thing. I don't say it as a slipper or a toe. I think that's part of the self-talk as I do it, and I'm just correcting some mistakes here. Okay, so I'm just observing the slant, eyelashes, and then more lines where my eye is firmly glued onto the drawing, on the scene as I draw this. And I feel free to stop anytime, at any point, as in like, I'll stop, think like, okay, where do I go here? Okay, yeah, go here. Okay, where do I go here? Okay, I'll just go here. Move the line here. Sometimes you want to draw fast because you want to look like a pro, but sometimes drawing slow is how you get the seam looking right. Okay, so this is after you get everything. Okay, just some small lines here, some separations here. So going from big the small details, and then we just cut these small details. There's always a temptation to do that first, but I really recommend doing it last. And that's how we get the scene. And then the last bit is all these small little, you know, embellishments. These are like the icing on the cake, where maybe if you get it wrong, it'll still look right because it's so small. But if you want to get it really looking accurate, keep your eyes on the drawing all the time and move your pen as your eyes, even as your eye is looking at the scene. So here we go. Scene. Remember the other scene? I should have done that last. But I guess it's going alright. And there we go. I think the scene looks more accurate than the other scene where I broke it up. A lot more accurate to the, more true to the what I see.